Hello my dear students, welcome back. This side your home science teacher Jasneet Kaur. If you're watching this video for the first time, then don't forget to hit the like button. In this channel, we discuss content related to home science. To receive notifications of my uploads, do press the subscribe button and turn on notifications. In today's video, we will talk about nutrition, health and well-being, chapter of class 11th. This video will be part 1. For rest of the parts, do click on the description box below, or you can click on the eye icon on top right corner of your screen. As we are starting this chapter for the first time, let's take a look on what all you will be able to understand after the completion of this chapter. You will have clarity of nutritional needs of the children at different stages of development. You all will be able to give suggestions for planning balanced meal for children. Concepts related to food habits of children will be cleared. You will have clarity of health and nutritional related problems of children, as well as knowledge related to immunization will also be enhanced. Now, if I talk about nutritional needs of the children, it keeps on changing as they grow. Due to increase in body height and weight, it also depends on the nutrient absorption. As growth and development are rapid during childhood, any type of nutritional deficiency at this stage can result into lifelong impairments or disabilities. Adequate nutritional level in the body during childhood contributes toward optimum functionality of organs, cognitive performance, strong immunity, increase in energy level, and keeps the mind and soul of the individual positive. Let's understand nutrition, health and well-being during infancy stage, which is from birth to 12 months. We all know that infancy is a period of rapid mental and physical growth, especially in the first 6 months. As it is a period of growth and development, infant requires twice as many calories per kg of the body weight. The body weight at the time of birth is 2.5 to 3 kg and height is around 50 to 55 cm. Apart from high energy levels, children should get protein, calcium and iron in adequate amount for their muscular growth, healthy bones and for growth and expansion of blood volume respectively. If we talk about the dietary requirement of infants, it can be easily met through the composition of mother's milk till 6 months of age. And after 6 months, contribution from complementary foods will help in meeting the nutritional requirements. It should be noted that healthy mother on an average secretes around 850 ml of breast milk, which is extremely beneficial and nutritious for the child of the age group of 4 to 6 months. To meet the nutritional requirements of the child, mother herself must consume diet which is rich in protein, calcium and iron, along with adequate quantities of fluid like milk, soup, fruit juices and even water to avoid malnutrition and dehydration. Students, you can take a look on this RDA table recommended by ICMR 2010 given in your NCERT book. Now, while looking at it, you will see the nutritional requirement of the children are divided into 2 categories, from birth to 6 months and from 6 to 12 months. It is done because from birth to 6 months, infant is entirely dependent on mother for his nutritional requirement. Whereas by the age of 6 to 12 months, a child can start having complementary food along with mother's milk. Now let's take a look on breastfeeding or the phase of lactation. Understand its benefits as well as the conditions in which mother is not supposed to lactate. Mother's milk is probably nature's best gift to a newborn baby, as it is enriched with all nutrients and considered as balanced diet for the newborn, as it is perfectly suited for the baby and for his delicate digestive system. In fact, WHO recommends exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. The initial 4 months, a child does not even require water, as mother's milk fulfills all the needs. Now students, pay attention to this next line, that during the first 2 to 3 days, yellow color fluid known as colostrum is produced by the mother, which most of the people, due to lack of awareness, believe that it is dirty and impure, so they don't feed the child with the same. But this colostrum, a thick yellow color milk, is extremely rich in antibodies and protects the child from all sort of infections. Hence, it is extremely important and mandatory to feed the child with the same. Now, talking about the benefits of breastfeeding, the very first benefit is that breast milk optimally balanced for the infants. It can be known as balanced meal, or we can say it is tailor-made for the infant. Secondly, it has all the required antibodies and white blood cells which are required to protect the child from any sort of infections and helps in boosting natural immunity in the child. Apart from these benefits, mother milk is conveniently available to the child, and as the child directly takes it from the mother, so the chances of adulteration decreases. The other benefit of mother's milk is that it provides emotional satisfaction to both mother and the child. The infant feels secure during breastfeeding by the mother. And for mother as well, breastfeeding is beneficial as it gives protection to mother against breast and ovarian cancers, also keeps the mother's bones strong. Now students, I would like to highlight certain conditions in which breastfeeding is not supposed to be done or not allowed. Like when the mother herself is suffering from any severe diseases like tuberculosis, cancer, or any mental illness. Second situation can be if mother gets pregnant second time when the first child would be at the age of 4 months. At that time, mother needs to stop breastfeeding, as if she will continue, it will make her situation worse in terms of nutritional deficiency in her body. Because feeding during pregnancy will lead to malnutrition in the body of the mother and will also lead to poor fetal growth. Next condition is if the mother herself was malnourished. In that situation, she should avoid breastfeeding. And last condition is if the baby himself is not able to suck the milk. In such cases, there are certain alternatives which we can provide to the child, like cow's milk, buffalo milk, goat's milk. Among these three options, cow's milk is considered to be the best option, as it is lighter compared to buffalo and goat's milk. In spite of being light in nature, still some amount of water needs to be diluted with cow's milk to make it thinner and digestible for the baby. Moving on to feeding low birth weight infant, as I have mentioned, generally at the time of birth, baby weigh around 2.5 kgs. So the baby who will be less than 2.5 kg are considered as low birth weight baby. Some of the common problems which they face is poor sucking and swallowing reflexes, or other conditions they have poor absorption capacity. Therefore, it is important to feed low birth weight infants as mother milk has all the essential amino acids, calories, fat and sodium content as well as antimicrobial properties which will help in their speedy recovery. Moving ahead, as we have used this term before, complementary feeding, let's understand its meaning. Complementary feeding is the process of gradually introducing other foods along with mother's milk. Foods that are introduced are thus called complementary foods. These can be introduced by the age of 5 to 6 months of age. 6 months of age is considered as the best suitable age for introducing other food items apart from mother's milk, because if we introduce complementary foods at an early stage, it may lead to diarrhea, and if delayed, it may lead to malnutrition. There are different types of complementary foods as mentioned in your NCERT book. Liquid complements, semi-solid complements which are introduced by the age of 5 to 6 months, and solid complements by 10 months to 1 year. Liquid complements will include milk diluted with boiled water. Citrus juices, we can start giving this in very less amount by the age of 4 months. Vegetable soups, dal water, clear soups we can offer at the age of 4 to 5 months. Talking about semi-solid complements, this include well-cooked and mashed vegetables, pulses and cereals well cooked separately or in combination. Milk and sugar may be added. Egg yolk by 7 months, starting with half teaspoon to 1 full spoon by 1 year of age. Chopped or cooked meat and fish to be introduced later by the end of 1 year. Third category, solid complements. This we can offer by the age of 10 months to 1 year. By this age, we can also offer raw salad, fruits, and cereals in combination with finger foods. Finger foods are meant to be eaten directly using hands without using fork or spoon. At last, certain guidelines which needs to be kept in mind while introducing complementary food. While introducing complementary food, make sure only one food should be introduced at a time. Secondly, small quantities should be fed in the beginning, which can be gradually increased. Similarly, along with quantities, portion or size of the food item should also be kept in mind. Next thing which needs to be considered, if the child doesn't feel hungry, don't force the child to like the food. One can also offer something else or reintroduce the food at the later stages when the child is extremely hungry. Next is spicy and fried food should be avoided for the small babies. All types of food should be encouraged without showing personal dislike. Means, if parents themselves don't like something, they should not react in front of the child that they don't like this food. Adding variations in food is very important to make food acceptable by the child. So that's all for today, students. I hope whatever we have covered is clear to each one of you. Still, if you come across any doubt, feel free to ask. If you like this video, do thumbs up and don't forget to pour your ideas and feedback about this video in the comment section below. To receive notifications of related content, don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. I will see you soon with the second part of this chapter. Till then, bye-bye and stay blessed.